shadows of concrete, whispers arise. Hexorian calls from the depths of the skies. With spells of the sea.
All right, buckle up, because we're diving headfirst into a world where magic isn't hiding in some far-off forest, but it's pulsing right under our feet.
I like that.
Yeah, we're cracking open #OpGrimnoire, the Hexorian field guide to urban witchcraft for this deep dive.
Ooh, yeah.
And let me tell you, you're going to see your city in a whole new light after this.
I am so ready for this.
So this grimoire, it's like it takes magic and throws it right into the heart of the city, right?
It does, yeah.
Instead of like, wandering through the woods,
Right.
You're finding power in like skyscrapers and subways.
Exactly, yeah. It's like reimagining magic for the modern world.
Totally.
Instead of those ancient forests, you're looking at the energy grid of a skyscraper.
Oh, for sure.
Or maybe you're connecting with spirits in a subway tunnel. Or finding some kind of power spot in an alleyway covered in graffiti.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty cool.
Right.
Well,
Like the city itself becomes this source of magic, of magical energy.
it really does.
And the book introduces this idea of the Hexorian movement.
Yeah.
And this movement, it's like a whole community. Occultists, artists, even like vigilantes who are all about like channeling this energy,
No, totally. They're all about harnessing the city's energy.
Yeah, and they have this saying, the city will feed us.
Oh, yeah, that's central to their whole philosophy.
Right.
Yeah.
What do you think that means?
Well, I think it means, like, there's this give and take relationship with the city, It's not just about going to the city and taking what you want.
Right.
You got to give back, too. Nurture it.
Right.
Work with it and the spirits that live there,
So it's kind of like this two-way street.
Yeah, exactly. A two-way street.
You give to the city, and the city, it gives back to you.
You got it.
Right.
That's the idea.
But who are they directing all this energy towards?
Ah, that's where Hexorius comes in.
Right, Hexorius.
The god of cities.
Yeah.
He's not your typical god,
What do you mean?
Well, he's not sitting up on some mountaintop. He's like down in the thick of it. Embodies that raw energy.
Oh, wow.
The chaos, that constant pulse of life that you find in the streets,
It's like the city itself is a god.
Yeah, exactly. And the Grimoire, it suggests some pretty unusual ways to connect with Hexorius.
Oh, yeah. Like what?
Like, think about urban exploration.
Okay.
Just wandering around and stumbling onto, like, weird synchronicities.
Mm.
Those little coincidences, they could be a sign.
Oh, interesting.
And then there's, get this, mimetic magic.
Wait, mimetic magic? You're telling me, like, internet memes can connect you with a god?
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Cool, that's wild.
It's so Hexorian, though, blending the ancient with the super modern.
Yeah, is it?
They see the digital world as just another layer of the city. Just another part of that energy grid.
Okay, so that's Hexorius. But it sounds like he's not alone.
Oh, no, he's got company.
Right.
A whole cast of characters, a whole pantheon.
Fill me in. Who else is there?
Okay, so there's Valdez.
So Valdas?
He's like the protector. Stands up to anyone trying to exploit the city.
Oh, wow, like a vigilante god?
Yeah, something like that. And then there's Santa Clara.
Okay.
She guides people through the city's underbelly.
The underbelly, huh? Sounds kind of dangerous.
Could be, yeah. But Santa Clara, she knows the way.
Makes sense.
And then you've got Arcadia.
Arcadia.
She represents hope for the future of the city.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. And then there's Eliora.
Okay, Eliora.
She embodies technology and information, how it all flows through the city.
So like the internet, social media, all that?
Yeah, all of that.
Wow, it's like a whole mythology for the digital age.
It really is, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that's not even all of them.
No.
No.
There's more.
There's the paramentals.
The paramentals, what are those?
They're kind of like urban elementals.
Oh.
Yeah, so you've got the concrete gnomes.
Okay, concrete nose.
They offer protection and a sense of belonging. The seal salamanders, they represent strength and resilience. How the city keeps going no matter what.
I like those guys.
Yeah, they're cool. And then there's the crystal elves. They're all about divination and intuition.
Okay.
And then you got the electric angels. They help with communication and energy flow.
So like the city's nervous system.
Yeah, something like that.
Wow, it's like the city has its own set of guardian spirits.
Right.
And each one has a specific job to do.
Yeah, they all have their roles to play in the grand scheme of things.
I love it.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool system.
But all these cool spirits aside,
Yeah.
how do you actually do Hexorian magic?
That's the question, isn't it?
Right.
Well, it's not about waving a wand in some like secluded chamber. It's about tapping into the energy lines of the city, finding those power spots, hidden in plain sight.
Oh,
like in statues, parks, crossroads, even abandoned buildings.
So you're saying like magic is everywhere in the city?
Exactly. It's just waiting to be discovered. And these places, they're like acupuncture points.
Oh.
They concentrate the city's energy,
Yeah, okay.
And it's not just the energy itself.
What else is it?
It's about connecting with the spirits that inhabit those spaces, too.
The spirits. So they're like all over the city?
Oh, yeah. All over the place. Some good, some bad.
Oh, so not all city spirits are friendly?
Not necessarily, no. That's why it's so important to, like, understand the different types of spirits and learn how to deal with them respectfully.
Right, like maybe you have to give them an offering or something?
Sometimes, yeah. Or even defend yourself from the negative ones,
Yeah.
It's all part of navigating this whole urban spiritual ecosystem.
This is getting really interesting.
Yeah, it's a whole different way of looking at the city, isn't it?
Totally. Now, there's this symbol in the Grimoire that seems super important. The linking sigil, also called Ellis.
Oh, yeah.
What can you tell me about that?
Well, the linking sigil, it's used to create a whole network.
A network.
Yeah, a network of magically charged locations.
Okay.
And it's accessible to any magic practitioner, no matter their background. It's like, imagine a web of energy connecting all these different power points all across the city.
Whoa, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. And from this network, that's where Ellis emerged.
Ellis emerged.
Yeah.
Like, what is Ellis? A spirit? A god?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Sounds like it.
The Grimoire describes Ellis as, like, either a spider or a girl.
A spider or a girl?
Yeah, with this Alice in Wonderland vibe.
Whoa, that's a wild image.
It is. And there's this whole debate in the Hexorian community about what Ellis actually is.
Really?
Oh, yeah. They toss around all these theories like, is Ellis a thought form?
Okay.
An egregore? A god form? It really gets to the heart of, like, how our beliefs and intentions can create something real, especially in a city with so much concentrated energy.
It's like the city itself is birthing something magical.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Now, the Grimoire also mentions a book of shadows.
Right, right.
Which sounds like, I don't know, a guide to the spirit world or something.
It kind of is, yeah. It's all about connecting with spirits, both the dead and the living.
Okay.
But especially those spirits that are tied to specific places in the city.
I see. So like the spirit of a certain park or a building.
Exactly.
There's also this feed the city ritual.
Oh, yeah, the feed the city ritual.
Which, from what I've read, sounds pretty simple.
It is, yeah.
You charge water with intent and then offer it to the spirits.
That's it.
What's the point of that?
It goes back to that core principle of reciprocity.
Right, give and take.
You're acknowledging the spirits, giving them sustenance, showing that you're not just taking from the city, but giving back, too.
So it's like saying thank you to the city.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Expressing gratitude and respect to the unseen forces at work.
And the book also mentions a ritual for making requests to the city spirits, right?
It does, yeah.
A bit more involved than just charging some water.
It is, yeah.
So what's involved with that one?
Well, you need colored candles to represent the elements.
Okay.
Earth, air, fire, water.
Okay.
Then you write down your request, super clear and specific, and then you offer some of your own energy to seal the deal.
So it's like a contract negotiation with the spirits.
Kinda, yeah. You lay out your case and offer something in return.
Interesting.
Yeah. The Grimoire also talks about techniques for developing urban mind power.
Okay, urban mind power. What's that all about?
It's about honing your awareness, expanding your consciousness,
Okay.
so you can connect with the city's spiritual undercurrents.
So it's like training your mind to be more in tune with the city.
Exactly, yeah. It's about going beyond the surface level and tapping into those deeper layers of energy and meaning.
Okay, so what are some of these techniques?
Well, there's dream power.
Dream power.
That's all about learning to navigate your dreams, maybe even interact with spirits while you're sleeping.
Oh, wow, like lucid dreaming.
Yeah, something like that.
Factual.
Then there's spiritual prayer.
Spiritual prayer.
It's about communicating silently, attuning yourself to the city's energy.
Like meditation, but focused on the city.
Yeah, exactly. And then there's holy houses, which is a super fascinating one.
Holy houses, yeah, that one caught my eye too.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. It's kind of like astral projection.
Astral projection.
You create a mental sanctuary where you can meet and learn from spirits.
So you're not actually going anywhere physically.
No, it's all in your mind.
But you're projecting your consciousness to a different place.
Exactly.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
It is. And then there's shadow stuff, which is a bit more intense.
Shadow stuff, yeah, that one sounds a little intimidating.
It can be, yeah. It involves working with the energy of shadows.
Shadows, like literal shadows.
Well, yeah, kinda, but also like the hidden, overlooked aspects of the city and of yourself.
Oh, I see.
It's about confronting those shadows head on.
Okay.
And using their energy for purification and empowerment.
So it's like taking those things we're afraid of and turning them into strengths.
Exactly. It's about facing your fears, your negative thoughts and patterns, and reclaiming that power.
That's deep.
It is. It's about going deep and transforming that darkness into something positive.
I like it.
Yeah, it's powerful stuff.
Now, this next topic might be a little sensitive for some.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
The Grimoire talks about Hexorian necromancy,
Right.
which is basically working with the spirits of the dead in cemeteries.
Yeah.
And the Grimoire, it really emphasizes respect in this practice.
Oh, absolutely. Respect is paramount when dealing with the dead.
Right, you can't just go barging into a cemetery and expect the spirits to be cool with it.
No, not at all.
So what does the Grimoire say about how to approach this respectfully?
Well, it talks about entering the cemetery with reverence, seeking permission from the spirits before you do anything, and never, ever disturbing any graves or taking anything without their consent.
It's like you're treating the dead with the same courtesy you would offer the living.
Exactly. Even though they're not physically here anymore, they're still present in a spiritual sense.
And their energy is still there.
Right.
But why work with spirits in a cemetery specifically?
The Grimoire suggests that cemeteries are kind of like thin spots.
Thin spots.
Yeah, like where the veil between the worlds is thinner.
Oh, I see.
So it's easier to connect with the spirits there.
Okay.
And it's not just about talking to the spirit.
Wow.
There's this whole thing about collecting graveyard dirt.
Graveyard dirt.
It's supposed to have all these magical properties.
Really? Like what?
It depends on where you collect it. Like dirt from a crossroads.
Oh.
It's good for spells about opening paths and creating new opportunities.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. It's like each type of dirt holds a specific energy based on the history of that place.
So it's not just random dirt. It's like infused with the energy of the cemetery.
Exactly. It's about tapping into that history, those memories, the energy that's embedded in those spaces.
That's pretty cool.
It is.
It's like the city itself is this living, breathing entity, and every location has its own energy signature.
Yeah. And Hexorian necromancy, it really highlights that interconnectedness, you know?
Yeah, between life and death, the past and the present.
Exactly. It's all interwoven.
Wow. This is a lot to take in, but it's super fascinating.
It is, isn't it? I told you you'd start seeing your city in a whole new light.
You weren't kidding.
Yeah.
I'm already looking at my own city differently. Like, I'm seeing all these hidden layers I never noticed before.
That's the magic of it.
It's amazing.
And we're just getting started.
Oh, there's more.
Oh, yeah. Buckle up. Because we're diving even deeper into the nitty-gritty of urban witchcraft in part 2 of our deep dive.
Oh, can't wait. What are we talking about next?
We're getting into the practical stuff. Divination tools, sigil magic.
Ooh.
And those Ellison generators, those are wild.
I'm intrigued.
Yeah, there's something else.
Well, I guess until next time.
Until next time.
Keep your eyes peeled for those synchronicities.
Oh, yeah. Those are everywhere.
You never know what magic you might find just hiding in plain sight.
Exactly. It's all around us.
See you soon.
See you in part 2.
Here again, we deal with new books about chaos magic. You can understand now that have many ways to practice chaos magic in your life. And by the way, everything could not be called chaos magic because chaos magic is all kind of magic. So be comfortable to tell me anything about these videos I make for you every time, okay? Here in
Chaos Magic Time.
Welcome back to the deep dive. Ready for more urban witchcraft?
Oh, yeah. I'm ready to get into the nitty-gritty.
All right, let's get practical then, shall we?
Let's do it.
So the Grimoire, it's full of tools and techniques, but it all comes back to that idea of the city will feed us.
Right. That give and take.
Exactly.
It's not about demanding favors. It's about working together.
Partnership, yeah.
But how do you partner with a city? It's not like you can shake its hand.
Well, it starts with how you approach it, you know?
Okay, so like, what? Picking up trash is a magical act now?
It can be.
Really?
Yeah. Think about it.
Okay.
You're caring for the city, putting that energy back in,
Huh. Never thought of it like that.
or tending a community garden,
Okay.
providing food, nurturing growth.
Right. So it's about the intention. It's not just the act itself, it's the energy you put into it.
Totally. You're weaving magic into everyday life.
I like that.
And then there are the more explicitly magical practices.
Yeah, like that ritual for making requests.
Right. That's
Well, you've got your candles,
for the element.
your written request,
Clear and specific
and then you offer some of your own energy.
to sweeten the deal.
It's like a cosmic barter system.
It is, kind of. You present your case, make your offer.
I like it.
It's all about exchange.
But what about people who aren't into all the ritual stuff?
Well, the Grimoire talks about urban shamanism.
Urban shamanism. Okay, what's that?
It's less about the formal rituals and more about intuition,
Okay.
connecting with the city's energy in a more personal way.
So like finding your own power spots.
Yeah, and finding your totems.
Totems, like in the city. I thought those were like animal spirits and stuff.
Well, in urban shamanism, your totem could be anything.
Really?
Yeah, it could be a street corner, a piece of graffiti that speaks to you. Maybe a certain kind of bird you keep seeing.
Or a specific shop or a building.
Exactly. It's about those places that draw you in, where you feel the energy.
So how do you know if it's a true totem and not just something you like?
Pay attention to synchronicities.
Those weird coincidences.
Exactly. They're like little winks from the universe, guiding you.
Like seeing the same number everywhere you go.
Or hearing the same song over and over.
Okay. Yeah, I've had that happen.
It's a sign, you know? You're on the right track.
Tuning into the city's frequency.
Exactly.
Like it. But the Grimoire also mentions some modern divination techniques.
Oh, yeah, those are fur.
Mediamancia and TV-mancia, right?
You got it.
Those sound super out there.
They are. But it's all about finding meaning in the everyday chaos.
So like decoding messages in advertising.
Yeah, or news stories, even just snippets of conversation you overhear.
Whoa. So it's like the city itself is talking to you.
In a way, yeah.
And TV-mancia is like channel surfing for divination.
Pretty much. You let the channels flow and see what messages jump out at you.
It's like turning off your rational mind and letting your intuition take over.
Exactly.
Got to try that.
It's fun. Now, we talked about Hexorian necromancy before.
Yeah, the cemetery stuff.
Right. And I just want to reiterate, respect is key.
Yeah, you don't want to mess with the dead.
No, not at all. It's about approaching them with reverence, asking for their guidance.
So why cemeteries? What's so special about them?
Well, the Grimoire says that cemeteries are places where the veil is thin.
The veil between the worlds.
Exactly. It's easier to connect with spirits there.
Okay, and then there's the whole thing about graveyard dirt.
Ah, yes, graveyard dirt.
That's not just any dirt, right?
Oh, no, it's got all sorts of magical properties.
Like what?
Well, depends on where you get it.
Right, different dirt for different spells.
Exactly.
So like, Crossroads dirt is good for new beginnings.
That's right.
And dirt from a pauper's grave is for banishing negativity.
You're getting it.
It's like each type of dirt carries the energy of that specific place.
Yeah, it's all about tapping into the history, the energy that's embedded there.
So, is it dangerous? Working with graveyard dirt.
Well, like with any spirit work, you gotta be careful.
Okay.
The Grimoire talks about cleansing rituals, protection.
Right, setting boundaries, making sure nothing unwanted follows you home.
Exactly.
So it's not something to be taken lightly.
Oh, you gotta know what you're doing.
Definitely.
Okay.
Now, what about some of those other tools mentioned in the Grimoire?
Ah, like the Hexorian compass.
Yeah, what's that all about?
It's like a divination tool, kind of like a dowsing rod.
Okay.
But instead of water, you're using it to tap into the city's energy currents.
So it's like a magical GPS for the city.
Yeah, you could say that.
That's pretty cool.
It helps you find power spots, lost objects, even new opportunities.
I like it.
And it's not just about finding physical places.
Right.
It's about tuning into those synchronicities, those energy shifts.
So it's a tool for both physical and spiritual exploration. Now, things are starting to get pretty sci-fi here.
Oh, yeah. What are you thinking about?
Those Ellison generators.
Ah, those are something else.
They sound wild.
They are pretty wild. Basically, they're areas that have been charged up with magic
Okay.
using the linking sigil and a special network key
And what's the point of that?
to make weird stuff happen.
Seriously.
Yeah. The Grimoire says Ellison generators can boost creativity, strengthen community connections, even help with healing.
Whoa, so you're like hacking into the city's energy grid?
You could put it that way, creating these zones of amplified magical potential.
That's intense. And what about map magic?
Oh, that's a fun one. It's about drawing sigils on maps.
Just on maps, okay.
Yeah, to attract specific energies to certain locations.
So like drawing a prosperity sigil on your neighborhood map.
Exactly.
Or a protection sigil around your house.
Yeah, it's like using the map as a magical blueprint.
So you're directing the energy flow, shaping reality with a map.
That's the idea.
I love it. Okay, last thing before we move on. The Grimoire mentions all these Irvin deities.
Oh yeah, Inyoria, Grovu, Ixer.
Right, those guys, are they like real gods or just metaphors?
That's a good question.
I mean, the goddess of neon, that's pretty out there.
It is, but the Grimoire, it's a little vague on that point.
So how do you interpret it?
Well, I see them as both archetypes and potential entities.
Okay, both and.
Yeah, like they represent aspects of city life, but they could also be real beings you can connect with.
So it's up to the individual to decide.
I think so, yeah. It's about finding what resonates with you, what feels authentic to your experience of the city.
It's like the city is a breeding ground for new mythologies.
It is. It's constantly evolving, just like the city itself.
And urban witchcraft, it's evolving right along with it.
Exactly. It's adapting, finding new ways to tap into the city's magic.
This is so cool.
I know, right? It's like suddenly the city is this whole new world.
Full of magic and mystery.
And it's all waiting to be explored.
So what you're saying is, I should start paying attention to those weird little synchronicities.
Absolutely. Those stray cats, those pieces of graffiti that catch your eye.
Those taxi drivers who know where you're going before you tell them.
Exactly. What if those are all messages from the city, you know?
Inviting us to wake up to the magic.
It's a tantalizing thought, isn't it? What if we're surrounded by magic all the time?
Mind-blowing. Well, I'm definitely feeling inspired to explore.
That's what we like to hear. Now, before we get too carried away, we got to talk about the ethics of all this.
Right, because with magic comes responsibility.
Exactly. So join us for part 3, where we'll delve into the ethical considerations of urban witchcraft.
And how to use these techniques safely and responsibly.
Can't wait to see you there.
Next week, Saturday 15th, we'll start the new stage on this channel. Will be about Necronomicon Magick by Chaos practitioners. Maybe not all practitioners use the Necronomicon mythos for magic, but who practice enjoy a lot. This is very important because there's a lot of books about it. So we must study day by day and a lot to improve our magic. There's a lot to be studied about it. So I wait for you. Bye.
All right, welcome back to the final part of our deep dive into urban witchcraft.
We've covered a lot of ground.
We have. We've gone from the philosophy to the pantheon to like actual spells and ritual.
Graveyard dirt, digital divination. We did it all.
We really did. But now I think it's time to talk about how to actually use all this stuff.
Yeah, let's get practical.
Right. Because it's one thing to read about it, it's another to actually, do it.
Exactly.
So how can we use urban witchcraft to make our lives better in the city?
Well, remember that saying, the city will feed us.
Yeah, that's like the core principle of Hexorian witchcraft, right?
It is, and it's not just some mystical phrase.
What is it then?
It's a practical guide to urban living.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Break it down for me.
It's about seeing the city as this living entity. This source of energy and abundance.
Okay.
And if you tap into it, it can feed you, nourish you in all sorts of ways.
So how do we tap into it?
Well, think about that ritual we talked about for making requests to the city spirits.
Yeah, the one with the candles and the written requests.
That's the one.
So you're saying we can use that for like practical stuff?
Absolutely. Need more clients for your business.
Yeah, actually, that would be nice.
Write it down, light your candles, make your offering, and see what happens.
Interesting.
Lost something. Same deal.
Okay.
Looking for a new job. Put it out there to the city spirits.
So it's like you're putting in your order with the universe.
Kinda, yeah. But instead of just sending it out into the void...
You're directing it to the city itself.
Exactly.
Okay, so what about those urban mind power techniques?
Oh, those are super practical too.
Yeah. Give me some examples.
Dream power. You can use that to get creative inspiration, solve problems, even connect with loved ones who've passed on.
Okay, that's pretty powerful.
It is. Spiritual prayer that can help you stay calm and centered.
Especially in a city, there's a lot of chaos to deal with.
Exactly. And holy houses.
Yeah, astral projection. That sounds intense.
It is. But it can help you access a deep sense of peace and wisdom.
Okay, so those are all pretty straightforward.
Yeah, they're more about personal development.
Right. But what about shadow stuff? That one still feels a little murky.
Shadow stuff, yeah, it's about confronting those parts of yourself that you don't like.
The dark side.
Yeah, the stuff you usually try to hide.
Okay, so how do you use that practically?
Think about a fear you have, or a bad habit.
Yeah, I've got a few of those.
Well, instead of running from them, you face them head on.
Okay.
You use the energy of shadow stuff to transform them into something positive.
So it's like turning your weaknesses into strength.
Exactly. It's about reclaiming your power, owning your shadow.
That's pretty deep stuff.
It is, but it's worth it, I think.
Yeah, I can see that.
Now, what about those more advanced techniques?
You mean like the Ellison generators and Map Magic?
Those are the ones.
Those sound like they could really change things.
Oh, yeah, they're powerful stuff. Imagine setting up an Ellison generator in your workspace
Okay.
to boost your creativity, or in a community center.
To bring people together.
Exactly. And Map Magic, that's a whole other level.
Yeah.
You could use that to, like, attract prosperity to a whole neighborhood.
Whoa.
Or protect a community garden, or even shift the energy of a place that feels stuck.
It's like you're becoming an urban architect, using magic to design the city.
That's a great way to put it. But that's where the ethics come in.
Right, because you could use this stuff for bad too, right?
You could, and that's why it's so important to be responsible.
Okay, so what are the ethical guidelines here?
Well, the Grimoire talks about respecting free will.
Right, so no mind control.
Definitely not. No using magic to harm others.
And always thinking about the greater good.
Exactly. It's like Spider-Man.
With great power comes great responsibility.
That's the one. It applies to magic just as much as it does to superpowers.
So, as we wrap up this deep dive into urban witchcraft.
Yeah, it's been quite a journey.
It has. I'm feeling, I don't know, kind of amazed by all this.
Amazed.
Yeah, like I'm seeing the city in a whole new light.
That's the magic working its magic.
It really is. It's like the city has become this canvas for magical expression.
A playground for those who are willing to see the magic.
Exactly. So, to all you urban explorers out there.
Yeah, all you witches and wizards and magic seekers.
Keep your eyes open, keep your intuition sharp.
And most importantly, keep your hearts full of wonder.
Because you never know what magic you might find.
Right around the corner.
And that's a wrap on our deep dive into urban witchcraft.
Thanks for joining us. What you're using.
City, we gather as one, a sisterhood of magic, our journey's begun. Flickering street lights, rituals ignite. With the sigil of Elas, we harness the night. Through urban landscapes, our spirits will soar. Witches and dreams.